Hey everybody, I have a video here for you. Now, my next few videos are going to be on first century history, and I think this is a pretty fascinating time to research, just simply because the Romans were pretty much the sole authors of literary history for this time period. So there are things you have to take into consideration when looking into what is written about this time. And of course, the Bible and the New Testament come from this era. One thing I wanted to talk about is Baalbek. And researchers, I have heard them ask the simple question, why did the Romans build so far away from the headquarters of their empire? And the Romans started building here in the first century, and this is not mentioned in the Bible, and I think that there is a reason for that. The Romans started building here in the first century, and I think there was a sole purpose for that. People have looked into the different temples that were built here. The Temple of Jupiter and Bacchus, and I believe the Temple of Venus is over here. But I think the true purpose of this, there was one specific reason why the Romans built here. And after reading the Dead Sea Scrolls, or not reading them, but researching them and really getting some good interpretations of them and what they were all about, I think that the time period, it's very obvious, was one of conflict and warfare, and the Dead Sea Scrolls are just an excellent place to start when you're trying to find some real history, because these scrolls sat in caves for 2,000 years and were not filtered by the church or edited, so you get a real viewpoint of what was actually going on. And I'm going to be making a video where some of the things written in the Dead Sea Scrolls, there's an obvious reflection of them in the New Testament. Except the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Essenes, the Ebionites, the other groups that were here, how they blended together is still kind of a mystery, but obviously their writing was very militant, radical, apocalyptic. These were not mild-mannered people. And Robert Eisenman, who does excellent research on the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they came from this area here, he calls it the Messianic movement in Palestine. People were not called Christians down here yet. That took place a little later. But the inspiration for the Bible, and the Romans did something that was quite brilliant. They had a kind of a revolution going on the eastern side of their empire. So what they did is they took the writings of the militant groups, the Messianic movement in Palestine, as Robert Eisenman calls them, took their own writing and simply wrote a Rome-friendly version of their Messianic literature from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Turned it into a Rome-friendly thing. Now, if there was an actual person living in this area 2,000 years ago that was preaching turn the other cheek and love thy enemy and show your love by paying your taxes to Rome, which was considered the evil empire by these people, I think that person would have gotten booted out of these camps at Qumran, or even worse. And other people have stated that, but it just is so obvious that the Bible was written for a reason, to pacify these people and give them their own religion based on their own words, but they turned it into a Rome-friendly version. And they kind of erased and tried to discredit the people that were spreading this movement. And it was very much anti-Rome, and I've heard as many as 100,000 Roman soldiers lost their life in conflicts in Judea and around this area about 2,000 years ago. So this was a huge problem for Rome. So what they did is they gave these people their own religion based on their own words, except turned it into a peace and love fairy tale. And it was not based on what was actually going on. But this religion, this movement was spreading all over the Eastern Empire, and places such as Antioch and Edessa especially. This is where a lot of people were coming down and joining this movement, and missionaries were going out and spreading this militant, radical, anti-Rome religion around this area. So what do? If you're the Roman Empire, you put in a cultural center, you put troops in right between where the people are coming down from to join this group and where missionaries are going up and spreading the religion around the northeastern Mediterranean. You put a cultural center in there, you put your army in there, and Baalbek is known for its temples. But what Baalbek really is, it's a military fortress. And this was perfect for the Romans to use. And I'm sure there was some bloody battles fought in the Bekaa Valley about 2,000 years ago. And the Romans, this has been used for a fortress throughout time. And the Romans needed to establish a definite presence in this region to stop the spread of this messianic movement and stop the spread of people coming down and joining the people of Qumran. And the Qumran Dead Sea Scrolls are a great testament to what went on in this time, because they laid in caves for 2,000 years because nobody came back to get them, because everybody died by the Romans or jumped off the cliffs of Masada. So this is why the Romans built at Baalbek. I got more first century history to come, and it's going to get crazy. Hope you thought this was interesting. Hope you have a nice day.